If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. You've got to see this. This is hilarious. I was on CNN looking at the predictive programming, the repetition, the mind control being pushed. And you ever see these ads? They love to do this stuff now, where they give you options, yes or no, or they quiz you or give you trivia. I saw this advertisement. Should I wear a mask? Yes or yes? This is what it's come to, where they don't even want you to think you have a choice or an option. They're telling you what you should do. So yes or yes, even though it should be no or F no, those should be the two options. And I saw underneath it said advertisement. I was like, what is this an advertisement for? So I click on it. Look at this propaganda piece. Remember, I talked about this recently, how they're going through their, the types of mind control they're going to use through the media to shame the audience, to guilt the audience, to embarrass anyone out there who is against wearing a mask or against believing in this, right? Look at this absolute garbage propaganda pushed by CNN.
A mask can say a lot about the person who wears it. But even more about the person who doesn't.
So they say a mask can say a lot about a person who wears it. To say what a good person they are, what a good citizen they are. And then they wait 10 seconds and they go, it also says a lot about the people who don't wear it. Oh, that's not shaming anyone. That's not trying to make anyone feel forced into wearing it so they can be politically correct and don't get scrutinized by anyone in their lives, right? And I'm going to get into this in a second. I have two things I need to show you. First, I'm just going to remind you of this quote from Dr. Fauci, since they show this I love Dr. Fauci thing. And then I'm going to show you something that's going to make you so sick that people should be protesting the CNN. They should be resharing this video. But let's start with Dr. Fauci, who out of his own mouth told us that we don't need to wear masks.
There's a lot of confusion among people and misinformation surrounding face masks. Can you discuss that?
Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. But it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course.
Say that again, Dr. Fauci? I forget, because I know I had to remove this video from my other channel. But and just tell us one more time, why don't you?
There's a lot of confusion among people and misinformation surrounding face masks. Can you discuss that?
Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. But it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course.
And you got to love the fact that they have the I Heart Fauci mask and the Black Lives Matters mask and Civil Duty mask. And this isn't propaganda. I mean, please stop. But this is the one that got me. This is a mask for a show called Ricky and Morty. You guys know I don't watch cartoons or any of that stuff. I really don't watch anything, but maybe some things to distract myself. But Ricky and Morty, I did a video. It's on my website. I cannot upload it here. They will not allow it up here, and it will get my channel taken down. There is a short film by the creator of this show. So let's put this in perspective. CNN is promoting this mask with the show Ricky and Morty. The creator's name is Dan Harmon. Dan Harmon is supposedly supposed to be funny. He's the creator of the show. He's a millionaire. You can look at him and look in his eyes and tell what he is, but you don't even need to do that or pass judgment because he's shown you. He has short films where he goes to therapy, talking to the therapist about his craving for infants. And he has a short film up where he shows himself literally, well, I can't explain it, but use your imagination, going up to a little doll baby while the parents are asleep, pretending it's a real baby and just doing the most disgusting, vile acts. And this is supposed to be humor. And this is a guy being promoted by CNN. This is a guy making millions of dollars. Nobody's saying, get his show off the air, get him fired, or anything like that. Investigate him. And CNN puts that on the mask to promote in their ridiculous commercial. How about the middle finger right at you, CNN? And here's an extra F you for your ridiculous propaganda trying to shame people into wearing a mask when the guy who's supposed to be protecting and leading us in this absolute bogusness has even openly said in the beginning we don't need masks. We saw him a week ago throughout the first pitch at the Nationals-Yankee game. Well, if you want to call it a first pitch. And look at him in the stands with his mask off, sitting side by side, not even social distancing, let alone wearing his mask. And we're supposed to listen to these people. When will the American people wake up? And this is the other tactic that I've noticed through repetition and mind control. Because, again, remember, it's just about looking at patterns and remembering patterns and looking at stories. Remember, I always say, every day there's a new story. Oh, this guy got married yesterday. Today he's gone. Shouldn't have had the wedding. Caught the outbreak spread. Right? And just making people more and more nervous to even attend any type of event or have a wedding or anything like that. These are the other stories that keep popping up, which couldn't be more ridiculously bogus. You don't even need to debunk it and look at footage and evidence because the stories are so outrageous that you would have to be so dumbed down to think that a guy was going to go to prison for murder for the rest of his life for shooting an absolute stranger in a store because they demanded he wear a mask. I can't show you the article, but you can look it up for yourself or go on CNN. Man charged with, blanking an employee after being asked to wear a mask in a cigar shop. These stories come out almost every day. Oh, this man, Adam Zabrowski, entered a Cigar International place in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania on Friday morning without a face covering, according to a probable cause affidavit. Staff at the shop told him that he needed to wear a mask inside the store or could have his order taken curbside, according to the affidavit. The guy became irate, grabbed 2 cigars from a shelf, exited without paying. Okay, but wait, there's more. A store employee followed him in the parking lot to retrieve the merchandise. According to the reports, he fired his weapon in the air before firing 2 rounds at an employee and, of course, killing the guy. Right? So there's a guy who's 35. He's gone through the nightmare of the schooling system. He's 35. He's lived half his life. And he's ready to go to jail for the rest of his life because some guy told him to put on a mask. This is how they fear people into doing it and making sure they wear it. That's all that this stuff is. This is propaganda at its finest because this isn't the first story. This is a pattern of stories that keep coming out. I always say this because you have to think about it. Nobody is going to, who isn't protected by a gang or something like that, nobody's going to go into a store, a cigar shop, refuse to put it on and be willing to risk the rest of their life in prison where they know they're going to get caught because there's cameras everywhere. So over 2 cigars. So the rest of his life, he kills some stranger. Not somebody he had a personal problem with, not somebody his wife cheated on him with, or anyone he's known who's done him wrong. Some guy he's never seen or known, or has no clue who the person is. And instead of, when the guy confronts him, giving him the cigars back, he decides to do that because he wanted the cigars so bad and he was so irate over the mask. Give me an absolute break. These are the stories and the patterns that they continue to create because they want to fear you into wearing them. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of states, well, it doesn't matter if they fear you into it or not. They literally have security outside of stores where you can't get into the grocery store without it. And that's a fact. So they're even going out there and creating fake stories just to make sure that nobody forgets. For those who do, to make sure you have it on. Because, the worst of the worst can happen. End up in a violent altercation with a complete stranger because everybody who goes to the cigar shop is carrying, right? That's what they're thinking about. I'm going to go get some cigars at the cigar shop. Let alone the fact that Pennsylvania is one of the states that still hasn't got, completely opened most places and cigar shops are open. Let alone the fact, how are you supposed to go to a cigar shop? Because you're supposed to be able to smoke. So why would you need the face covering if you're going to go in there and smoke a cigar? What are you supposed to do? Cut a circle in the middle of the damn thing like a glory hole and smoke the cigar? It's disgusting. Even the thought of the fact, the whole thing is just unbelievably non-realistic. So these are the things I wanted to point out to you. The CNN ad promoting Dan Harmon's show. Pretty funny, right? Not at all, actually. Go on my website. Watch the video on Dan Harmon. All you gotta do is go into the video tab and search for it and find it. It is the creepiest, trust me, and I'm not just saying that. It is at least one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life. In my life. That got passed off as humor, and they let these people walk freely. They don't investigate them, and they make millions and millions of dollars, and people don't protest against that. But they'll protest against someone like me objecting to pride parades or something because I think that, I don't agree with them. And they'll say, that's hateful, or Desmond is amazing, or any of that stuff. But that's okay for this guy to do that. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. You'll know what I mean, and you'll just be horrified. Horrified. So here comes the mask guilt shaming shoved right down our throats. And again, the website is acallforanuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. And if that video is one you want to see, again, search for it under Dan Harmon, and probably is also tagged under Ricky and Morty or whatever the show's called. But it's definitely a must-see. Unfortunately, there's no freedom here on YouTube at all, so you can't share much of this stuff. But over there, I can share it, so check it out. You'll definitely enjoy the website if you haven't tried it already. And maybe I'll actually even just re-upload it to the top so it's right there in the video section so everybody can see it. I want to make sure people can see it. And be able to find it. So check that out, and thank the patrons out there, and good luck everybody with the guilt shaming into wearing a mask. What an utter joke. Thank you again for listening. God bless all of you and your families.